everyone, it is your girl Nikki here, and I am here to remind you, Mama, that it is well. No matter what you have going on, no matter how bad of a job you think you're doing, I promise it's well, it's okay, you're doing a fantastic job. So, welcome to my YouTube channel. This is a place where we like to discuss how to look good, how to feel good, and how to keep your sanity while being a mom. So if that sounds like your thing, go ahead and hit the subscribe button down below. Click that notification bell so that you don't miss out on any of my future uploads. All right, now that I've gotten the YouTube intro stuff out of the way, let's talk about what we're going to discuss today. So I want to share something that is super near and dear to my heart. It is an area where I don't know, I really just want to perfect it. Like I want to be so good at it that my kids are always super duper comfortable coming to me, because I know how that is when you don't really know how to talk to a parent, especially if it's something that's a little bit more challenging. So we are going to be discussing 5 tips on how to have difficult conversations. Because whether you're a parent, whether you are just a friend, hanging out with people, any type of human interaction, you will have times where you have to talk about something that is a little, less than ideal. So let's talk about how to do that and get over that hump so that it's not such a daunting task, because I promise you it's easier than you think. So let's go ahead and start with number 1, which really isn't a tip. It's more so just a reminder, because I feel like a lot of people forget. And that is that your children are resilient. Okay, they can handle so much more than a lot of us allow them to handle. I think in a society, we tend to shelter our kids from things that we feel like they can't handle. But if you really just talk to them, they kind of can. It's like you're doing it out of your fear versus what is really going to do to your child. So just remember that they can handle so much more than a lot of us are willing to do. Because, don't be labeled as a helicopter mom, okay? No one likes that. I'm not trying to step on toes, but I'm just being honest. Like, when you smother your kids, it's a snowball effect as to what can happen on down the road, which I can tackle that in another video because it ain't this one. But you just got to give your kids a little bit more freedom, responsibility, and just the ability to think and reason and come up with solutions on their own. So stop sheltering your children from difficult conversations, okay? Like, they need to be had, because if you don't teach them, the world will. So which would you prefer? Pretty sure you'd rather teach your kids the morals that you have versus allowing the rest of the world to teach them, because honey, that's what's going to happen. If you don't teach them, the TV will, their friends at school will, some random psycho killer might, I don't know, that's maybe a little extreme, but yeah, you got to teach your kids, okay? So that's just my reminder tip, and not so much as a true tip. So let's get into the real thing. Number 2. This is by far one of the most important tips, kind of, I guess, is be honest, okay? Be honest with your children, because who likes being lied to? I sure don't. Pretty sure you don't. So why lie to your kids? It's bad enough that the majority of us come out lying to them from the beginning, telling them that Santa Claus is real. Come on, guys. We got to be real with our kids. We have to be honest, because if you are honest and real with them, they will appreciate you so much more, and they'll have so much more respect for you. So what I mean by that, my daughter, I think when she was maybe 3 or 4 years old, okay, 3 or 4, she had a pet fish. Matter of fact, she had a couple of fish in her tank. And one of the poor little fishies committed suicide. We were cleaning out the tank, and he jumped out of the bowl down the drain. It got real messy. The fish was gone. And then the other fish got stuck in the filter. He was gone too. And so I know that this is common. Like a lot of people will just go out and buy a new fish and be like, oh, no, that's the same fish, Johnny. We didn't buy you a new one. It's the same fish. I ain't have time for that, right? I'm honest with my kid. So, mind you, she's 3 or 4 years old. She comes into her room and she's like, there's only one fish in my tank. What happened to my fish? And so I just looked at her sweet little cherub 3 year old or 4 year old face. Can't even remember how old she was, but that's besides the point. But she was little. And I look at her and I said, Riley, your fish has gone to fish heaven. It jumped down the drain and it kind of died or it's gone. And I'm just really sorry about that. And I kid you not, her response, she looks at me and she goes, Mommy, well, that is just a shame. I about lost it because she was so serious. She's like, it's a shame. It's a shame that that fish did that. And then she was like, can we just go get another one? And I was like, absolutely, girl. Let's go to Walmart or pet store, whatever, wherever we got the fish. I don't even remember. But she was like, let's just go get another one. And I'm like, girl, that's why we're cool. She didn't even cry. Like, literally did not even cry. Now, mind you, some kids are a little more sensitive, which Riley is pretty sensitive. But if your kid is a little bit more sensitive, just adjust to their comfort level, right? So just give it to them in a softer way, but don't lie to them. Don't try to hide the truth from them. And yeah, just let it be. Because I guarantee you, they can handle it. Okay? So moving along to my next tip, which kind of goes hand in hand, I guess, with the second one. And that is tip number 3, have empathy and compassion. So your children will respond to things in the way that you respond to things. Okay? I know you probably don't want to hear that, but it's the truth. Our children learn from us, whether that's good or bad. So what legacy do you want to leave? Just saying. So let's take the subject of race, for instance. That's a difficult one to talk about, especially if it's kind of not really your thing. In my house, we talk about it all the time. I'm obviously Black. My kids have dealt with some racial things as small as 3 years old. So we talk about it. And it's not that we want to paint this ugly picture of the world. It's not that I'm like, oh God, don't look forward to America or something like that. It's that she needs to be aware, or I say she, like I don't have 2 children, but they need to be aware. So the way that we do that is with empathy and compassion. So we talk about race with our kids or any other difficult conversation with our children, and we just come from a really, like, I guess, humble place versus like, oh, this world's so terrible. Don't do this and don't like these people and blah, blah. Like, don't get all upset about it because that's just gonna, that energy is gonna transfer to your kids. So be calm, be an adult. Who forgot how to do that stuff? I mean, you look in the comment section, that tells you, okay, I'm going on a tangent here. Let me stay focused. Anyway, but when we talk about it, it's kind of like, we look at the situation for what it is. And it's like, sometimes people are this way because they just don't know any better. That's a much better response than saying that person right there is a racist and a bigot and I hate them, So even though that could be true, maybe that's not what I'm going to tell my kid. I like to come from a place of empathy and a place from compassion. And I think if you can do that, it'll make life so much easier. And that's for sure the case, whether, like I said, it's race, whether it's gender identity or, just sexual identity in general. You want to remind them that we're all different, that we all are unique in our own ways. And that's a good thing. I love to tell my children, like, It's okay that we have different hair. It's beautiful. It's okay that that person who is a man likes that person who's also a man. I tell them that because at the end of the day, as long as you're not giving me any kind of physical harm or emotional harm, what you do, it's not my business. So they're still people. And you have to convey that message to your children. And I promise you, it will make those conversations so much easier. I mean, I remember watching the Kardashians years ago when Caitlyn was transitioning. You know, Bruce was transitioning into Caitlyn. And I remember my daughter being like, hey, mom, why does that lady have a man voice? And I was like, well, sweetie, this is why. And I just broke it down in a way that a little 4 or 5 year old could understand. You know, don't go all hardcore and talk to them like they're an adult, but break it down into ways that they understand, little bite-sized pieces. And like I said, be empathetic and compassionate when you have those conversations, and just remind them it's okay. Not everyone's going to look like you. Not everyone's going to think like you. Not everyone has the same experiences as you. So that helps reframe the child's mind so that they don't get, afraid, because a lot of times bigotry and things like that comes from fear. It helps them to not be angry, and it just really makes for a much more conducive learning experience, right? And that's not saying that you agree with whatever is going on. You can be empathetic and compassionate and not agree. I'm an ally because it doesn't bother me. But I know that some people, like whether it be religious beliefs or whatever, are really against certain things. And you can be against certain things, but still be empathetic and still be sweet. And I think that's what the world is missing right now. All right. I just went on a really long tangent. But as you can see, I'm really, really not compassionate. I'm really passionate about this topic, because I feel like if we could just give a little bit more love into this world, what would that look like? What would it look like? It would be beautiful, I'm sure. It would be so much easier to just navigate it. But let's move on along, because I'm about to make this super long video if I don't. So, number 4, welcome feedback. So when I talk to my children and I'm explaining something to them, I encourage them to give me some feedback, because the more that you talk to them and start to understand what's going on in their minds, the better the conversation will be and the easier the conversation will be. And not only that, but it will build trust between you and your kid, because they feel like they can talk to you and you are listening and you want to know more about how they feel. Because let me remind people, in case you don't know, your child is not you. So they may think differently than you. They may have different beliefs than you. That's okay, because they are their own person. Okay? They're their own person. So listen to them. Encourage them to share their feedback with you. And I can almost promise you that it will just make such a big difference in your conversation. It'll be rich and authentic, and you can learn from them and they can learn from you. And it's just a beautiful, beautiful thing. And then this leads me to my last topic, which kind of, like I said, goes into connects to the beginning, connects to the 4th one. So number 5, and that is offer support to your children. So if your children are doing something or believe something that you don't necessarily believe in, now I'm not talking about a drug addict, like if your kids are on drugs, get them some help. But still, still, they need support. Yeah. So help them, get them in rehab, whatever that needs to be. But if your child is either, like coming out of the closet, like they're homosexual or bi or trans or whatever the case may be, offer them support, because they get so much crap outside of this house. They don't need it from you too. I promise you, they don't need it from you. So give them support. And sometimes that's swallowing your pride. That's, saying, I had a different opinion and I don't necessarily love it, but I'm going to be here for my kid because that's what our children need. I think if we can give them more support, more love in the house, create a safe haven. Like the home should be a safe haven. It should not be another place of fear. They're getting that out there. You know what I mean? Like they're getting that from school. They're getting that from work. They're getting that from fake friends. You have to be that rock that they stand on. Okay? Support your children. And if you don't want to support your children, go to therapy because you need it. And I'm not trying to say that from a mean place, but it's just being real because it is much easier to raise really great humans from the younger ages than it is to fix an adult. Fixing a broken adult is not cool. And I can tell you that wholeheartedly because I was that person. It's much harder to fix this now than it is to just raise up good humans. So, yeah, I'm getting off my soapbox now. I'm sorry. This was kind of like a heavy subject. I didn't intend for it to be heavy, but I want to be real and I want to be authentic. And this is my channel, so I can do whatever I want. But I hope that you guys find this information helpful. If you have tips on how to have those difficult conversations, please share them because I love to hear them. I want to get better at it and I want to be able to be there for my children just like any other parents. So leave whatever tips, tricks, secrets you may have down in the comment section below. And that is it. We're going to wrap up this video and I will see you all in the next one. Bye guys.